We love recruiting. And I got to tell you, this is the best time in the world to be a team leader and the best time to recruit. And yet, you got to, look at your opportunities and run at them right now. So, what we've put together between the two of us, we coach nearly 100 leaders. We put like what's working together. I've got 7 little quick things I'm going to share with you really in 30 minutes. And what I challenge all of you to do is message Rich or I with what action you're going to take. Don't try to do all this. Pick something. I'm putting 7 different things in front of you, and every one of these things are effective. I wouldn't try to put 3, 8, 6, and 7 together, though. I'd focus on one thing and one thing well. And if you need a little more direction or have questions around it, just reach out. We're here. You know how to reach me, because these are all proven things that people in the field are doing that are winning big. So I hope this gives you a lot of fun energy, and yet a double dog dare you. Focus on one thing, implement one thing well, and when in doubt, reach out and ask your coach for help. Okay. So diving in, thank you first of all for being here. And without further ado, let's dive into the hottest things, hottest strategies, hottest things that are working around recruiting right now. And if we dive in, of course, I'm having technical challenges. Sorry, guys. What I want to start with is mindset, because it starts with you guys and how you're feeling and how you're thinking about this all the time. Let's be honest. And I want to just challenge you with the truth. And the truth is this: if I don't care which office we're looking at, I see a Jean on here, I see Dawn, I see a bunch of you. Some of you have huge MLSs, some of you have small markets. Doesn't matter. If I took a map, and I took a circle and made a circle around your office, like of kind of like your recruiting footprint, like where you may pull agents from, and pulled all the offices, or I Googled real estate offices near me, 8 out of 10 of the offices that pop up are going to be a rinky-dink little office where maybe there is 4 or 5 people in the office. Maybe someone does commercial, someone does property management. It's not like 42 agents. And so if you keep that mindset, you got to realize we're like a behemoth to these offices. We may even intimidate them a little. You guys in the average month take more listings than most of them do in a whole year. Your training calendar just overwhelms them probably compared to what they might do. They may not even get together as a group once a month. So when you look at what's around you and the environment we're in right now, you have a very unique recruiting environment. And so I just want to remind you of that. And if you're new to this or you haven't been through a shift, this is so favorable for you right now, because it's kind of scary and lonely out there. So some of these strategies are really working for you today that may not have even worked a year and a half ago. So I just want you to be well aware of that. So run at these strategies, be disruptive, because the market share that you grab in the next 6-18 months, you'll never lose. So just know, first of all, like, get your head straight when you wake up in the morning, like, whoa, this is opportunity time. And for those of you that don't know, I live in your world. I love recruiting. And yet this is a visual of Venice Beach, Florida, on Broker Metrics. This is just pulled all the brokerages around this office. And if you look at producing agents, you'll see it right here. There's 9 in this office, 6 in this office. Some of these offices don't even cap, So if you realize what you have around you, you have people that are in a real difficult situation as well. They're feeling like you are, a little bit unsure of things, a little fearful, a little stressed, and 10x it for them. Because the truth is, if I'm also the rainmaker, I'm probably the broker owner, and I'm also the MCA, I'm also the recruiter, I'm also the productivity coach. You guys know how that is. They're really hurting. So if you're feeling anything, 10x it right now, and just think of how it would feel to run one of these offices right now. And the truth is, if you look at their rosters, they usually have 1 or 2 listing agents and the rest aren't. So let's just say we're all in the same office right now, and Donna is the #1 lister in our office. And Ash is a builder that gives us inventory. And Ash and Donna leave. Where are we? We're in trouble. That whole brokerage will probably close. So just know what you got, because We've been in this situation before. It was called 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. Fortunately, this market shift isn't going to be painfully 5 years long. It's happening fast. And yet, if we go back in time, this is how our growth looked last time. We look like Superman taking off right here. Check that out. Is that crazy? And that's what I want to remind you is we've been here before. I was recruiting. I was like 29 years old. And it's a little bit different of a time, but it's the same thing. So you guys have like the best opportunity. So if we want to think about it, I would really encourage you guys to get a mindset of offense, not defense right now. This is not the market to worry about retaining through. You want to grow through this market because the truth is the agents that you have had all of your training, all of your resources, all your people at their fingertips. And if they still haven't been successful, they're probably going to leave the industry or go elsewhere where there's no fee or something like that. It's kind of sad, but it's true. So don't focus on retention as much as growing through this. And at the same time, if you're going to focus on making calls, the worst person to call right now is someone that hasn't sold a house this year, because they themselves aren't sure if they're going to stay in the game. So one of the things I just want to put a point on is call the people that are going to stay in, but maybe are down that might make a change. Don't call the people that are still wondering if they should renew themselves, because again, they're not going to make moves. They're probably not even going to set appointments right now. They're probably going to just see how it goes till the end of the year and then either not renew, go somewhere cheaper, or stay with you. Focus on most likely to move with the time you have. Now, many of you may have seen David Sienna, my recording with him when I featured him on Worldwide the other day. If you haven't, go to my YouTube channel and listen to this, because David kills it. Like he had like 282 R2 appointments that showed this year, but he's doing his job in about 2 hours a day, 3,000 miles away from his office. Seriously. And he has one very focused approach, and he focuses on the most likely to make a move every day. He's very purposeful. So I double dog dare you, if you haven't heard that, you need some inspiration, go over to my YouTube channel. It's probably the first thing you'll see. David Sienna, he shares that strategy step by step, but call the most likely to move. Now, here are some things that you can do either on your own, with your recruiting team, with your growth committee, with your leadership team, with anyone that'll say yes to you. A care call-a-thon. It's a very popular thing to do right now. You can have your own agents care call internally to check on your people and tell them that they're cared about and that there's opportunities for them to plug in, and that they're, who to call if you need to phone a friend. But you could also do a care call-a-thon outward to co-ops, co-brokes. You could invite them to your upcoming Best of Mega Camp Rewind team meeting that you're probably all likely having. Or if you've got an attorney coming in, going step by step of contract changes. I know Rich Rector he counted 40 contract changes to the California transaction alone. I don't know how many there are for Florida. I know there's several pages. And yet the script that was working for that is, hey, are you, calling co-ops? Hey, Donna, are you ready for the 40 contract changes that happened? And if you're not, would you like to Zoom in or join us for our update of the week, which we're going to cover that. That's a great conversation starter, because, these smaller brokerages, again, if it's a 10-man shop, they probably don't have an attorney coming in, right? They don't have someone breaking it down for their agents. And yet a care call-a-thon, you could focus on your co-op list of the year saying, hey, we're reaching out to all the agents we love doing deals with, making sure you're ready to go. Here are some free trainings we have. Just wanted to invite you and include you if you could use that for your own self. So again, that kind of approach is very disruptive, and you could do that all in a couple hours. Just get a couple people to help you out. Invitation to training is a big deal. So what are you inviting to, and what's coming up in the next week or two? For those of you not going to Mega Camp, do you have anything going on? For those of you going to Mega Camp, how are you going to capitalize on that when you get back? Do you have a panel sharing the best things that happen? Is there a team meeting that you're taking over and doing Best of Mega Camp? Could you lead a top agent panel that you invite to. These are all great things that you could have on your calendar or add to it. Most of you have really good calendars dialed in, and yet if you struggle here, reach out. Rich and I can give you some cool ideas to lean on us, your region, and other ways so that you don't have to yourself create training in your space if you don't have the ability to do that. MOFers, we have been sending out MOFers to y'all, all year, and yet they're working because there's a lot of people uneasy and shopping. They're not necessarily moving right now, but they're shopping around and just keeping tabs of what their options are while they kind of wait and see how things pan out with not only the market, but the settlement. And then you've got, different brokerages doing extreme things like making statements about how they're going to handle the settlement. There's going to be a lot of chaos. So you want to capitalize on this, and just remember, when you're putting offers out there, if someone's already shopping around, they're probably going to say yes to you. So it's a smart thing to do. And yet, if you've got a robust training calendar that you keep inviting to, you're a natural kind of safe harbor for everyone. So food for thought. And then last but not least, I'll say in terms of disruption, hiring events. Think about opening your office up on a Saturday morning or afternoon and doing an open house. Feature teams that might be considering hiring, do team speed dating events. To team or not to team is a great class to teach to kick that off. I've got a great PowerPoint that you guys could work from. If you would benefit from that, just reach out. Here's the thing. If I'm an agent and I'm the average guy out there that's not quite a capper and I'm struggling a little, I might click on Indeed ads, which many of you have gotten from us already. Clickbait, the ultimate clickbait right now. Or I might say, maybe I should join a team. Maybe I should be part of something. So even though most of the time they should not join a team, and after meeting with you, they realize they don't really want to join a team, what they realize is they're just not in the right environment. So MOFers, Indeed ads, these are all clickbait. You guys know that. You don't necessarily have to have a director of luxury position to have that out there floating around. And yet you're putting things out there for people to grab onto, because that's what agents are doing right now. They're looking for hope and a safe branch to grab onto, and you are that. So all of those things work. Again, pick one. Don't try to do it all. Do a second one after you implement one, but implement only one. That's what my challenge will be, because again, this is just idea number 2 out of 7. So be disruptive. Everyone in the MLS should be getting marketing from you right now. You have the smart plan that we have set up for you. We created for you. It's ready to go. It's called the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Strategies. Turn that baby on. There's no tasks for you. It's just great marketing. Just like if this was our neighborhood and I live in the neighborhood, you're all my neighbors, and I'm a realtor, guess what? I'm going to farm to my neighborhood, aren't I? That's all you're doing with that smart plan. But if you're not farming, you're missing out on people already interviewing and moving around. So at a bare minimum, turn on your command and let's be disruptive here. So number 2, play offense, not defense. Okay, before I move on, any questions so far? Anyone want to ask anything? Okay, we'll keep rolling because I have 5 more to go. Okay, number 3 is, this was me showing the agent movement report. Most of you have seen this before, but I'm just going to remind you of this. This is the agent movement report in Broker Metrics. I picked up LPT Realty because they were kind of kicking butt for a while. But if you look at LPT Realty in our area, look how down the agents are. That's what happens when you join one of those brokerages that are free or nearly free. Look at that. Their production just plummets. It's kind of sad. And yet, if you right click on any one of those agents' names, you can see the agent's name, the brokerage they're at, the contact number, their home address, their cell phone, and where they've been and how frequently they move. So a strategy right there is to pull your agent movement report Go after the offices that are losing most of the agents, that have a lot of people leaving. Because, you know, if this is our brokerage, you guys, and we're all together, and Jean, Matt, Casey, Vicky all leave this month, what are we doing? We're like, what's going on? We're calling Jean, Casey, Matt, like, where are you headed? Right? That's what happens. You guys know it. You have the same exodus every now and then of your own. So go after those brokerages that are completely falling apart. And right on Broker Metrics, 3 clicks, you have their home address, how often they've moved. You've got every bit of intel you need. And I'm going to tell you, this helps call reluctance. If you're struggling to make calls, but you bring someone up and they bounce around 3 times in 3 years, they're easy to call. But if I see this Kier guy's been at his brokerage for 27 years, I'm probably going to move on. Frankly, you only have so many calls in you every day. So use the strategies that exist in front of you. Between Heat Seeker and this, you guys have more intel than really anybody in our industry to make that call easy. So again, focus on the most likely, because that's a no-brainer. And then here are 4 very winning scripts. If you'd like to take a picture of this, go for it. But we learned a lot, and we learned a lot at Family Reunion from Rory Vaden about what words we use, and you know, saying the right things and having the confidence around the words we say. And he shared with us some of the strategies around our opening line when it comes to appointment setting. So one of the winning opening lines that is working at a high level right now is, how open-minded would you be? And then depending on the person you're calling, if they're newer to the business and struggling, or a top agent that's, you know, could be a featured panelist on one of your upcoming events, you would change that dialogue accordingly. So if you're a newer agent, I might call and say, hey, how open-minded would you be to reviewing our 2024 agent stimulus plan to help our agents with this market shift? How open-minded would you be? Now, truth is, most people would have a hard time saying no to that, because you're asking them how open-minded would they be. Kind of like, have you hit your potential? People in general have a hard time saying they've hit their potential. Let's be honest, right? Same thing with, oh, I'm not open-minded, right? So it's a way of opening their mind, and it's a really powerful statement for the brain. So try it out, give it a whirl. We're winning with it with ISAs. And so if you haven't tried that before, do that. The next one would be more geared for someone, if I'm looking on their broker metrics and they have a lot of buy sides, but maybe not a lot of listings, I might change that to be, hey, how open-minded would you be to interviewing with a real estate team that's bringing on a couple superstars like yourself? Now, that wouldn't fly if this is a listing agent that does 30 units a year. So pick the conversation that makes sense for the production of the agent that you're calling. And then how open-minded would you be to being my guest to our luxury listing class, which will help you get confidence in listing luxury property? Or how open-minded would you be to being my guest to the Best of Mega Camp team meeting? We're going to have the top agents share their biggest ahas. Or how open-minded would you be to being a guest to our attorney overview of the NAR settlement? Every week we update our agents with the latest that they need to know to have confidence in their business. We'd love to have you. You know, so that's how those conversation starters might sound. And then the last one would be very much for a top agent. How open-minded would you be to being a featured speaker at our top agent mastermind for August? We realized we have no one from RE/MAX represented, and we'd love to have you featured. Would you like to be on the panel? Now that would be kind of how that conversation would go. And then I'd go one step further and say, and so that you're ready for the questions we're going to ask, let's go grab coffee and I'll go through those with you. So again, 4 really great conversation starters. Anyone have any questions and comments? Anyone doing any of those, winning with any of those? Okay, I'll just keep rolling. Number 3, be disruptive in a purposeful way, meaning disruptively purposeful in your time. So What about doing a contest around referrals? And in order to qualify for your referral, you have to text and do a 3-way text with an agent to introduce the team leader to a friend in the business. And for each time that you did that, you got a chance to win some fabulous prize. That's a reverse bold 100, you guys. You could have the front desk be the intake for the referral, and you can call the agent that refers and thank them and get more intel about the agent and ask them to do a 3-way text. In one day, you could get hundreds of referrals by doing that. One day. But it's called working smarter, not harder, right? It's just a reverse bold 100. And what we have are all these great models for our own agents to follow. We can do the same. You just back it up and decide what you want to give away. It starts with a giveaway. So what would that be? Come up with something that you think would be meaningful. If you would like, if I'm your coach, you could give a digital curb appeal makeover or something like that from us, and Sheila and I could help you with that. Coaching with Rich, whatever that is. That's, these are we're fabulous prizes. So give us away if you need to. But the point is this: a bold 100 can change everything in your momentum in one day. And right now, your energy is sacred, you guys. So if you're not feeling it, charge your batteries, rest, recover, whatever you need to do to get where you need to be so you can be energized. And yet, if you're lacking energy, one of the best things you can do is be disruptive like this. Like in one day, kick butt and get your pipeline flowing again. What if you did a bold 100 when, like, a couple days after you get back from mega camp so you can recharge your batteries, right? Get back to full energy. What if you put on the calendar today to do a bold 100 and call everybody that you interacted with this year to date? Everybody that you called and said they'd meet with you that never actually scheduled, everyone that you started a conversation with and maybe stalled out on, everybody that's in your pipeline in some manner. You could do a bold 100 easily based off the appointments you guys do every month. Think about it. You're going to get more mojo from doing that than calling for 2 hours for 2 days in a row. So if you're going to think about it, be disruptive, energize yourself, prepare yourself, tell your team you're going to do it, put things all over your door, do it in the front of the training room, be disruptive about it. No one will bother you. They'll cheer you on. You could even have like a sign, like, I'm accepting referrals while I'm doing my bold 100, right? Encourage your agents to do the same. What if you did a care call-a-thon day in your office? Because they need to be doing the same thing you are. Okay, and that, speaking of referrals, here are a few things. The agent movement report, say you print out one of those, or your heat seeker list, or a list of indies you guys would love to get a conversation with. Have that printed out and ask your agents who they're friends with. They're your connectors. Are you really asking for those connections? If someone's on the heat seeker list, say, hey, are any of your friends on this list? Because if they are, we need to help them out. They need to hear from us. If someone's into profit share, because about 10% of your agent count will be, 90% will ignore you. The 10% are the people that you want to plug into, just like an agent with their database. An agent never has 100% of their database refer them. I mean, that would be pretty awesome. You never hear of that. And yet, if I'm an agent, I'm going to be happy with a 10% return on my database. So as a team leader, you should as well. But for that 10%, what's their sponsorship wish list look like? Like, who do they wish they had in their downline? Or who are they gunning for that maybe they went to real estate school with, or that they're friends with at a different brokerage, or an agent that maybe left us and should come back? What does that list look like for those that are into it? Because if they focus on a small group of people, they're way more likely to get a large group of those people over and sponsored than if they kind of just randomly think about it. So for those that are into it, lean in on them and get that list developed so that they can make a point to invite those folks to anything that they're going to and share and pass along great intel that we give to them. Every month for the rest of the year, you should have a contest and a career fair at least 2 or 3 times. You should be asking every day, and if you're not, you should be very aware that you're not. Because if you think about it, you're no different than a top agent, and they ask all the time. So again, those are things that I would just keep in at the top of your mind in order for you to get referrals. So, target influencers is the next one. And this is a big one. If you look at the true dependent models in your market, maybe that's Coldwell Banker, Berkshire Hathaway, Century 21, you name it, you got them. Go to the very top agents. I'm talking top 10. Those folks pay all the bills and then some. They have paid more money in GCI over the last few years than they have in a long time, and they are well aware of it, and they're irritated about it. Focus on those folks because they never will cap. Next is the top lister, and I kind of talked about this earlier on. It's not good to be the top lister when you're the only one listing, and it's really hard to compete against a behemoth like Keller Williams, where there's so many listers and so many different people taking listings. So they typically feel a lot of pressure under themselves and a lot of fear. So they are very likely to make a move right now. And then remember, for vendors, especially vendors that are really popular and influential in your market, they love you at Keller Williams because in one team meeting, they can get in front of 20, 30, even 50 people, thanks to you, versus having to network the rest of the week, popping by offices and talking to one agent here and 3 there. You guys are very popular right now. So use your swagger, use your clout to get in front of people because they depend on it. That's their lead gen. So they also have the intel of which brokerages are closing, what's happening out in the field, what are they hearing? Lean on them because they want to be in your world. Let them help you. And then again, most effective scripts. I gave you 4 that were great. Here are 3 more. With the uncertainty in the market, or with the craziness of our industry, or with the changes ahead, open it however you want. But with the uncertainty in the market, it's a fear-based script. I'm just going to tell you that. It is. It gets them into fear. With the uncertainty in the market ahead. We, or you could say KW, is opening our doors to all realtors who would like advanced training on the lawsuit, or on how to get your commission, or on how, thanks, Sarah, on how fill in the blank, whatever it is that you want. As a friend in the business, I wanted to include you. And then what I would do is have an infographic of the details if this was a text, or just have the details ready for the script. But that is a very powerful message, not only from a team leader. You could use this for cold calling. This could be for co-ops, but this would be really strong if you got a couple agents helping you out. With the uncertainty in the market, most agents have a backup brokerage in mind. We would love to interview for the job to be your backup plan if your broker closed or even sold the brokerage. Would you be open to meeting? With uncertainty in the market, because many brokerages are making difficult decisions to stay profitable, like merging and selling, we decided to open our doors to all realtors to experience KW. You are welcome to come to any one of our open houses, attend any of our trainings, or even pop by our office social. We would love to be your backup plan if you ever consider to make a change. You're welcome here. Come on in. There's a total different script. So again, let people know you're open. You're open. Come on in. I know we've been inviting for years, but if you make a statement like, our doors are open for everybody, that's powerful. Couple more, because again, I'm going too slow, I guess. I made it too much content for you guys. Agent to agent. What was that, hun?
Are you going to share these scripts?
Yep, I'll share these slides right after this with all of you.
Perfect, thank you.
This is a really good one.
The script, because I know you did like number 4.
Oh, sorry, the screen share. Oops, sorry, screen share. Thank you, Kier.
No
okay,
worries.
This bottom one is the one I'm having home runs with, and that's agent to agent. So find a few agents that are willing to do this. And it's, they start it however they want. Most agents have a backup brokerage in mind. You should check out my office and meet with my business coach. Can I set that up? Right? Simple, simple, simple. And then number 6, don't forget your training room is your bait. If they can see you guys in action and see what the office is like, they're very likely to come in and formally interview. There are very few opportunities at other brokerages. So if someone looking for opportunity, if they see this opportunity map, they're very open to a conversation. And just remember, they move for how we're different, which is our value props. You don't have any competition with our value props, and yet we also profit share. So I'm running out of time, but I want to just get through to remind you that there's only going to be about 10% of your agents that really get into profit share. Invest in them, make them a tribe, have them help you. They want to help. They want to make profit share. And yet, last but not least, make sure you are telling your story, and that is on social channels. If I was to go to your office Instagram or public facing Facebook page, what will I see? Am I going to be razzle dazzled by what you guys are doing, or be like, man, they got a lot of birthdays? Because frankly, some of us don't use those recruiting TV shows that we have, also known as our Instagram and Facebook. And what do agents do all day? They sit on their phones and they look at that stuff, don't they? So if I get to see how awesome your team meeting is, or that you're at mega camp or whatever, I'm definitely going to interview with you if I am shopping around. And I know that was trying to deliver this at record pace because there's more, but Rich and I have a couple more pop-up classes. We're going to dive deep on all of those things individually. So if any one of these key topics really resonates with you, reach out. We'll let you know when that is so that you can deep dive. You can maybe include someone from your leadership team on that. And yet this is time. This is go time, you guys. So make sure your energy is to maximum capacity, and think about how to do this smart, how to capitalize on this unique time that we have right now. Because what you grab, you will not lose, likely for another market shift. And it was a long time ago that we went through this. So it's really, really go time. Okay, I will make sure you get all those slides because I went fast. If any one of you want to reach out, feel free to reach out with questions. And I challenge you, pick one thing and go do it. Don't pick 7, pick one. Okay, guys, see ya. Have an awesome day.